Hey girls, and welcome to Binge-Free Bestie, the podcast where we ditch diets, break free from binge eating, and build a safe and empowered relationship with our bodies. I'm your host, Nick Galbedia. I'm a registered therapist and I totally get it. You see, binge eating woes and body image struggles are something I've been quite familiar with. Been there, done that, and guess what? I found my way to food freedom and now I'm going to help you to do the same. This potty is going to be your go-to for real, evidence-based strategies from my therapy practice and from my own lived experience. So whether you're tired of that diet cycle, you're ready to ditch this shame spiral, or you just want to feel more confident in your own skin, then this is going to be the place for you. It's time to get real about food freedom, body acceptance, self-care, and building a life you truly love. Ready? Let's get into this, besties. Hey lovelies, welcome back to Binge-Free Bestie. It's Nick, and today this episode is called Why You Can't Stop Eating and How to Take Back Control. So, if you ever found yourself standing in the kitchen and you're spoon deep in that peanut butter jar and you're telling yourself, I just want one more bite. But then you realize, holy moly, I've already eaten half the jar and I hadn't even noticed. Or maybe for you it's bread and one slice turns into the whole loaf. Or maybe like me it's the chippies, the crisps, and one bowl just turns into another and another until you're uncomfortably full and you're wondering what the heck has just happened. So if you've Googled, why can't I stop eating chippies? Why am I binging on bread? Why am I addicted to peanut butter? Then this episode is going to be for you, because here's the truth. I want you to know that you're not actually addicted to these foods. You're not weak and you don't need more willpower. There is a real reason that you feel out of control around certain foods, and we're going to break it down. So let's see how we can get you moving towards feeling normal around food again. I want you to know that I get this, and the reason I get this is not from things that I've read in a textbook. It's not even from the work that I do with the gals I support. It's because I've been there too. So I also used to think that I had zero self-control, and my thing was, like I said, chippies. I literally could not be around chips at all. So growing up, my family was like pretty healthy home. There weren't a lot of like naughty or like junk food snacks around. My lunchbox as a kid was really healthy. My mum did all of her baking herself. And of course, when you're a kid, you don't really appreciate that so much. And so I was always looking in my bestie's lunchbox and seeing that she had those little bags of chippies. And I always was so jealous of that. So I was always swapping my lunch for other kids' like mini snack size bags of chippies. If I went to a party and there was a bowl of chips, I would literally just stand by the bowl of chips and eat them until they were gone. And at home, when we did have chips, what my dad used to do was he had a big bowl and he used to put them on his lap, and my brother and I would be allowed one handful and one handful only. And I just ended up putting chippies on a pedestal. It was the food that I just could never get enough of. So when I moved out, went to uni, did my own groceries and stuff, I was eating minimum a bag of chips a day. I just could not get enough of them. And every time I ate them, I'd think, oh my God, I can't be trusted around chips. I have no self-control. I'm totally addicted to chippies. I used to refer to myself as a chippy fiend. And to be honest, I am still a chippy fiend. Once a chippy fiend, always a chippy fiend. But what I didn't actually realize back then was that it's not the chips that was the problem. It's the restriction. So that restrictive mindset of, gosh, I can't get enough. I have to get these while they're around because for all I know, it could be the last time I might be able to get some chips. It was also the guilt, and it's the way that I put them on a pedestal as my special treat. So if we fast forward to today though, I keep chips in my home, in my pantry at all times, and I eat them as part of my meals, and I enjoy them without guilt, and I actually do not binge on them anymore because I've used these strategies that I'm going to start to share with you today. And chips just don't have that power over me. They don't have that pull anymore. So if you're feeling out of control around certain foods, I just want you to know that it's not your fault. It's totally changeable. I've done it, so you can do it too. So where is this coming from? Why is this happening? Let's talk about the real reasons that you feel out of control around these certain foods. Number one, and you would have heard this in my story, is that you're likely restricting these foods. So every time you tell yourself that you can't have something, your brain places extra value on it. So that's why the second that you break the rule, it feels like an absolute free-for-all. So let's just example here. If you cut out bread for a week because of a diet or any reason really, and then you finally allow yourself a slice, your brain just goes NATO. It says, oh my God, I'm finally allowed this. I better eat as much as possible before it's off limits for me again. Does that sound familiar? So what do you actually do about that? The first thing you do is you give yourself full permission to eat that food regularly. So yes, eat the peanut butter regularly, eat the chips regularly, eat the bread, eat the cereal. This is one of the first steps in habituating or normalizing your binge foods. So that full permission to eat. Doesn't matter if it's a food that's labeled as junky or naughty or bad food. We're not buying into those labels. Every food can have a part in your diet, including your binge foods. And the more that you allow them some space, the less power they're going to have over you. So you can incorporate your binge foods into balanced meals instead of treating them as a forbidden food. So what I used to do, like for example, actually tonight, we're having nachos for dinner. Obviously, I get to have chippies for dinner tonight. So that is how I incorporate them into my diet in a healthy way. So I've got the nacho chip, we've got the mince, we've got a really beautiful pico de gallo, so a really fresh salsa. It's a really balanced meal. It's got everything, but I get to have, my cake and eat it. So that's the first reason, is that you're likely restricting the food. The second one is that you're probably not eating enough overall. So if you're overeating, whether it's skipping meals intentionally, trying to eat light all day, or cutting out entire food groups, such as the chips, then your body will compensate for it later. Example, if you eat salads and protein shakes all day, by 8 o'clock your body is going to be pretty desperate for some energy. So the first thing it craves is carbs and fats. And those are usually the foods that are classified as naughty, again, like the peanut butter, the bread, the cereals. So what do you do instead? I want you to start eating consistently throughout the day. So having those 3 core meals and snacks, and making sure that your meals are balanced, satisfying, and please include carbs. This is something that I teach within my Breakup with Binge Eating course, like how to actually create satisfying meals and how to eat them mindfully. I know that was something that was really hard for me on my journey, because I understood the logic about how to stop overeating and binge eating. I understood that, okay, if I'm not eating enough, it makes sense that I'm binging at nighttime. But it kind of left me in this limbo area of like, well, what the heck do I eat then? Because you're just carrying around so many different diet culture rules that you don't know how to listen to your body. You don't really know how to put together meals that are satisfying. So I do include that as part of my program, because I think it's really important just to have some guidance at the start while you're learning to listen to your own body and while you're learning to practice gentle nutrition. The next reason you're probably overeating on certain foods is that you feel guilty after you eat them. Again, if you're believing foods like bread, peanut butter, chippies are bad, then every time you eat them, you will feel guilty. And what happens when we feel guilty? We restrict to make up for it. We try to compensate. And this restrict, if you've listened to other episodes, the binge restrict cycle, that this is actually what is called the binge restrict cycle. We binge following restriction. So that's physical when we're not eating enough, and mental when we're putting those food rules on. So what do you do instead? We need to ditch that guilt. So no food is good or bad, and I want you to challenge the belief that certain foods are off limits. Again, we want to normalize these binge foods. Take them off the pedestal, take back your power. Example, instead of sneaking peanut butter straight from the jar and feeling bad about it, how about we put it as part of a balanced meal? So peanut butter, you can pop that on toast with some banana and some cacao nibs. You can put it on the side of your porridge or oatmeal. You could put it in a smoothie. There's heaps of ways that you can enjoy peanut butter without standing in the pantry sneaking little teaspoons of it until the whole jar's gone and then you want to beat yourself up. So we've got to break this cycle. I want you to give yourself full permission. When you allow yourself to eat all foods, that forbidden foods power disappears. 2, eat mindfully. Instead of eating straight from the jar or the box, serve a portion, eat it slowly, add it as part of a balanced meal. 3, challenge your beliefs. If you believe that a food is bad, I need you to ask yourself, who told me that? Where did I learn that? Is it actually true? And when you do break up with binge eating with me, I will teach you how to challenge your thoughts, how to reframe them. And number 4 is stop judging yourself. The people who are most relaxed around food are eating without guilt because they trust themselves. They move on after their meal instead of obsessing about it. And this is what I want for you too. And it's possible because I used to have food guilt. I used to have so much shame. And as I said, I always had my head buried in a bag of chips because I just couldn't get enough, and then they had me in such a chokehold. But it doesn't last forever if you do the work, and only if you do the work. Okay? So I hope that today's episode has helped you to just at the very least feel seen. And if you've been stuck in a cycle of craving and binging and guilt, please know that you're not alone, and we really want to welcome you into the Binge-Free Bestie community. You're so welcome. We want you here. You belong with us. You don't have to stay stuck forever. Freedom is totally possible. I've got tools and strategies all throughout these poddies. The episodes are dropping every week on a Friday. So if you want some free resources, go back and listen to the other ones too. You can always send me a DM anytime if you just want to chat or you've got a question. And make sure you're following on Instagram because I have lots of things like free trainings and resources that are getting released from time to time. So if you want those, make sure that you're keeping in the loop. Speaking of free trainings, I have one coming up in March. It's called Binge Eating Unlocked, and it's about why binge eating happens and how to start taking back control. If you want to come along to that, all you got to do is pop yourself on the wait list, and I will either send you the details for the live or send you the replay after. You can find the details for that in the show notes. And I've also just released a free guide called the Emotional Eater's Fix. You can download it for free. It's going to break down a little bit more around emotional eating, and it's got some reflective exercises in there for you to have a little bit of a crack at. And again, break up with binge eating. The next round is actually starting in April, so I'll be opening the wait list. Well, actually the wait list is open right now, but I'll be opening the doors for that super soon. So again, head to the show notes for details, to get on those wait lists, to grab those freebies. Everything I'm doing is for you because I want to see you succeed. And I just want you to know, again, you're not alone. You've got this. And I will catch you next week. Hey besties, that is a wrap for this episode. If you're feeling fired up and you're ready to dive a little deeper, then let's chat about how you can keep that momentum going. First, you can find me on all your fave socials at Binge-Free Bestie. You're going to get lots of daily inspo there, more strategies, and a healthy dose of body positivity. Then, if you want to start your food freedom journey, then you're going to need to grab my totally free guide, The Overeat's Fix. That is easy to find in my show notes. And finally, if this episode has inspired you to take the first step in healing your relationship with food and you're ready to break up with binge eating, then my online course is exactly where you need to be. It's a powerful blend of coaching with me, Nick, and a supportive Binge-Free Bestie community, engaging discussion forums, transformative learning modules, and a mindfulness library that's packed with strategies to help you ditch dieting and embrace lasting food freedom. Next round is starting really soon, so if you don't want to miss out on that, then join the waitlist. Link is in the show notes. Okay, that's all from me today, but if this episode has been helpful, please hit follow. And if you're feeling extra kind, maybe consider leaving me a review on your fave platform. Please, please, please remember, you are so worthy of food freedom and body peace. Please take care of your beautiful self, and I'll catch you next time for another empowering episode. Ciao for now.